Welcome back to High Stakes. Today, we will be discussing the following NBA matches that is happening on Friday, October 27th, 2023. We will be providing our team, total, and prop picks for the day. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. If you want access to our premium picks, you can check out our Patreon page. You can find the link to our Patreon page in the description and comments section below. Toronto Raptors vs. Chicago Bulls. The players-only meeting is expected to inject a much-needed spark into the Bulls on Friday night. This is why I'm opting for them in this game. It's highly unlikely they'll deliver such a lackluster performance in consecutive games. It's worth noting that this is Toronto's first away game, and their performance against Minnesota wasn't exceptional, despite managing to secure a win. I attribute their victory to the energy from their home crowd. The Bulls are eager to demonstrate that they are not defined by Wednesday's lopsided loss. So, I recommend betting on Chicago to cover the spread. The offenses are not going to click into 120-point teams overnight. I expect the offenses in both teams to slowly build as the season continues. Expect this game to be another low-scoring affair in the low 100s. That is what both teams scored in Game 1, and it will carry over on Friday night. Take the under on Friday. Next we have Brooklyn Nets vs. Dallas Mavericks. In the previous season, Dallas managed to secure victories in both matchups, but when it came to covering the spread, they split the outcomes, with Dallas being the favorite in both games. The margin of victory for the Mavericks averaged just 3 points per game in those contests. It's important to note that the Nets had a different lineup at that time, with the likes of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving still on the roster, although Irving didn't participate in the second meeting. Irving's upcoming first game against his former team could serve as a catalyst for a standout performance. Now, Ben Simmons assumes the leadership role in Brooklyn, for better or worse, and he has yet to demonstrate his suitability for such a responsibility. This may present some challenges for the Nets this season, but it could also offer Simmons an opportunity to establish himself in the league. However, it's unlikely to occur against the Mavericks. The manner in which Dallas responded to their game against the Spurs was noteworthy. Falling behind by a significant margin early in the game appeared to ignite a fire within them. I would be surprised if they allowed a similar scenario to unfold again. I anticipate the Mavericks will continue their strong performance. Therefore, my recommendation is to take the Mavericks with the point spread. In the two meetings last season, the total split while the two teams averaged 222 points per meeting. The one game that went under was due in part to the two combining to score 30 points in overtime. Both teams had some sloppy shooting in their season openers, and both were not afraid to launch bombs from three-point range. That allows both sides to look strong on the rebounding front, but missing a ton of shots will help that cause well. It's only Game 2 of the season, and these teams are still really shaking off the cobwebs. The Nets are a brand-new bunch, looking to get comfortable in a new identity that has yet to rear its head. Gone are the superstar headaches, but in their place will be growing pains. This is the first game away from home this season, so expect a slow start. Take the under. Next we have Los Angeles Clippers vs. Utah Jazz. The Clippers put on an impressive performance in their inaugural game, particularly excelling on the offensive end by making over 50% of their field goals. Their proficiency extended beyond just shooting, as they also had a strong showing from long range and at the free throw line. Their offense was marked by excellent ball movement, and their aggressiveness on the boards was evident as they secured 14 offensive rebounds. In contrast, the Jazz struggled defensively in their first game, allowing their opponents to score 130 points. While they rebounded effectively, their perimeter defense was lacking, and they couldn't contain their opponents in the paint, suggesting they might face difficulties curtailing the Clippers in this matchup. Despite scoring 114 points in their initial game, the Jazz had a subpar shooting performance, converting just 45% of their field goals on their home court. Their ball movement left room for improvement, and they missed valuable opportunities at the free throw line. The Clippers displayed a formidable defensive performance against the Blazers for the majority of their game, mainly in the first 3 quarters, before resting their starters. It's reasonable to expect them to adopt a similar strategy in this game, aiming for another victory. For these reasons, I recommend betting on the Los Angeles Clippers to cover the point spread. The Clippers averaged 113.7 points per game last season. They scored 123 points in their first game and averaged 112 points per game in their last 3 games against the Jazz. With Utah giving up 130 points in its first game, the Clippers will score at least 120 points in this game. The Jazz averaged 117.1 points per game last season. They scored 114 points in their first game and averaged 121.6 points per game in their last 3 games against the Clippers. With Los Angeles giving up 111 points in its first game, the Jazz will score enough points to push the score over the total. The Clippers and Jazz played over the total in 2 of their last 3 meetings. Take the over. Next we have Golden State Warriors versus Sacramento Kings. Sacramento is expected to be a formidable contender this season, thanks to their lineup of experienced NBA scorers, including De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Harrison Barnes, and Kevin Huerter, among others. These players understand their roles and are poised to make significant contributions to the Kings' success. In their opening game, Sacramento had 5 players scoring in double digits, and they are set to maintain an up-tempo, run-and-gun style of play throughout the game, especially on their home court against the Warriors. Golden State initiated their regular season with a loss to Phoenix and noticeably missed Draymond Green, who was a key playmaker and a strong presence on the boards last season. The Warriors currently lack a true center, which could be a vulnerability when facing Sacramento. Sabonis, known for his versatility in scoring both inside and outside, is likely to have a substantial impact in the paint against any defender the Warriors put on him. Moreover, Sabonis' exceptional court vision ensures that if a shot opportunity is limited, he can distribute the ball to Sacramento's sharpshooters stationed around the perimeter. Given these factors, I recommend taking Sacramento with a -3-point spread. Sacramento does not use much of the shot clock each time down the court as the Kings put up as many shots as possible each time out. In the opening game of the season, Sacramento took 153 shots compared to only 119 by Utah. Sacramento opened its season scoring 130 points, and the Kings gave up 114. The total has finished over in 5 of the last 7 games that Sacramento played on a Friday and in 4 of the last 6 games that Sacramento played as the favorite. Take the over. Next we have Orlando Magic versus Portland Trail Blazers. These 2 teams appear to have contrasting perspectives on the current season. The Magic are on an upward trajectory, having concluded the previous season on a high note, and they boast a promising young core of players. In contrast, the Blazers are in the midst of a full-scale rebuild, having traded away key players, including Lillard, in exchange for draft assets to replenish their roster in the future. The Magic showcased their potential in their season opener, demonstrating proficiency on both ends of the court. While their shooting was accurate, their defense particularly stood out. They faced a weaker opponent, but they're set to encounter another one in Portland. Orlando is likely to maintain its strong defensive performance against a Blazers team that lacks significant offensive firepower. Similar to their first game, the Magic are expected to shoot well, and their robust defense will play a pivotal role in securing a victory and covering the spread. Considering these factors, it's advisable to bet on Orlando with a -3-point spread. The total for the Orlando game went under while the Blazers game went over, and I am leaning towards the under in this game. Orlando played great defense in their opening win and look for that to happen again facing the Blazers. Yeah, Portland did put up 111 points in the opener, but 38 of them came in the fourth quarter when the team was down big and they were facing bench players. The Magic will use their magic on defense in this game, and they are not a high-scoring team, so that means the under is the pick.